Hello gainers, Ralphie here with some fitter philosophy, and on location in the Greenwood, as you can see. And what better place than to pause and take a few moments to contemplate the reality around us, away from human activity, from the madding crowd of our daily struggles. And for many people it can seem like a struggle. Life can seem more like an existence than an opportunity to live and flourish. And because of this, gainers, to help us move from existence to living in its more full sense, we need some fitter philosophy. Excuse me while I make myself comfortable. That's better. It's a steady stone that I'm sitting on, but it's kind of at a slope. It's just one of these kind of stones. It's been here for billions of years, so that's the way it is. My subject for conversation in this video is continuing the investments theme. It's part of the investments series where we're often encouraged to view investments as a certain specific thing. In other words, money. And this is an illusion, because to have enough money is to have a lot of money, depending on what you do with it. And some people have a lot of money and do very little with it, or squander it, and they've got nothing to show for it. And money can be quite distracting. There are other things that we can invest in which cannot be taken from us once we have acquired them. And two of these are knowledge and skills. Knowledge, we tend to start at school, where knowledge is imposed upon us according to the dictates and the requirements of the communities that we live in and the countries that we live in. Particularly when you go to history classes, you can learn an awful lot of disingenuous bullshit, and it's all part of the fact that education, the educational system, is also a wonderful opportunity for imposing propaganda for the convenience of the state. But the state needs to impose some practical stuff upon us to make us useful and to make money for them, and a little bit of money for us, but to make money for them. And that is why we learn the three basic essential skills of reading, writing and arithmetic. These are the three skills that actually make us useful and functionary in a modern society. It's these three skills that allow us to use a mobile device. After that, we may learn a second language, unless you're in Britain, where it's still discouraged. And that's very useful, because it helps broaden the range of communication. And also, as one learns a language, you also learn about the society that language comes from, and you understand the meaning and the way of the words, and in turn that helps you understand your own language, your primary language and first language. But after school, many people stop acquiring knowledge, unless it's football score results, or a particular hobby they may be into. But that's where it tends to end. And also, any further skills tend to be acquired through employment or through pursuing a hobby. And there's many people who have turned the skills that they've gained from a hobby, whether it be stamp collecting or repairing motorcycles or acquiring ceramic pots and vessels, into a very successful full-time engagement, which also makes them money. And there's the skills as well. With knowledge comes skills. With skills comes knowledge. The two are totally intermeshed and should never be seen as separate. And what I'm really saying here is that knowledge in itself is a skill. And forget television. You may pick up something from a wildlife programme or a genuine documentary, but such is the control and manipulation of media, it's useful to be aware of that. And I'm not criticising, I'm simply calling it out for what it actually is. I'm neither positive nor negative about it. It is simply what it is. It is, gainers, the nature of the beast. And you can forget newspapers, because newspapers tend to be controlled by a particular socio-economic group who are taking the opportunity to put their own agenda across for their own reasons and their own profit and power. And that's fine, you know, they own these newspapers and people have an option as to whether they buy them. As you can imagine, I don't. What I can recommend more than anything else is books. The most valuable source of knowledge that you can encounter, having started in the internet with blogs and vlogs, videos and specific personal websites. The most valuable source of information for knowledge and for skills are books. And the wonderful thing about the internet is using the internet. For example, you see an interesting documentary or video on YouTube, and then you run down through the comments underneath, and then someone mentions a book. So you go and explore that book in Amazon or Amazon or Book Depository or eBay, and you look at comments and reviews, say goodreads.com, and you say, do you know, that would be an interesting book. You can walk into a bookshop or a library and you will have treasure hidden in the sand, so to speak. The majority of books are fictional, they're kind of repeat formula. There may be an interesting read, very distracting, but they won't genuinely give you knowledge and skills. They won't stimulate your skills, but there are books that do. And one of the skills is finding these books from which you can gain knowledge. And the knowledge you gain ultimately is to provide you with the skills for life. Not for the society, not for the community. They're useful, sure. Not even for making money. That's handy. To have enough is to have a lot. To have too much is a burden. And there's plenty of rich people living lives of poverty. I've seen it happen, and frankly so have you, if you look hard enough. But the knowledge to generate the skills for connecting with this version of life, for engaging with this matrix, is truly the most valuable skills you can acquire, because these skills singularly enhance our lives. And we know it's working when we look at people around us who are still stuck in their ruts, and we can only communicate with them so far, and we've moved on, they haven't, and you can't pull them behind you because they'll resent you for it. You can't lift them up unless they really want to. And this is where particularly older people that have skills of life can communicate with younger people who are acquiring the skills of life, and just share it. Share the knowledge, share the skills, so that the generation that's coming through can be empowered by them purely on their own terms. And I'm going to conclude by giving you one incredible skill advice that comes with knowledge and is enhanced by knowledge, and that is the skill of morality. Morality is sectioned into religion, to be honest. You will find it in spirituality, but religion kind of possesses the definition of morality because it is a very, very powerful motivator. That's the reason why. And I recommend that you enhance, that everybody enhances their perception of morality as a holistic community societal skill, because the less moral people are, the more poverty everybody has to suffer. The more the humanoid collective is restrained, contained, held back, and becomes more at risk of extinction, which is a very real possibility. But the more there is a collective, non-religious enhancement of morality, of knowing what is good for the self must be good for the community and good for society, what is positive in the humanoid collective and what elevates the species will definitely without doubt, enhance the quality and the length of human survival. I'm Ralphie. I'm finished here. I'm done and dusted. If you want to pop back again to another Fitter Philosophy vlog, there'll be one along next week. If you enjoyed this, click like, subscribe, bang the bell, all the usual stuff. And thank you, gainers, for watching. I'm Ralphie. I'm here taking the opportunity while it exists to simply share things I've learned, having experienced life and having had a very interesting life, sharing it with you to help you with yours. That's my purpose, and I hope you find this useful. I'm away now. I'm going to walk up that path, get the fresh air, see the greenery, listen to the birds, and engage with the drama of the natural world around us, which is absolutely essential for the quality of our lives. Bye now. By the way, when you get the opportunity, go somewhere and plant a tree.